Earlier today, Mattel Jurassic World Global Marketing Brand Manager and friend of Victoria's Cantina, Britt Schatz, shared a video clip on Instagram of the new Walmart battle-damaged Plesiosaurus. While the video clip itself was fun to see, I know many of us are looking forward to Peggy the Plesiosaurus, as Britt is calling her. Something especially interesting was revealed in the comments of her post. You can see that somebody is asking about more legacy items and figures, the Jungle Explorer, and she's saying that not going to happen, unfortunately, right now. But then somebody asks about the Brachiosaurus, and she also says the Brachiosaurus is not going to be on display at Toy Fair, which is about to begin. She also mentions that the Brachiosaurus is going to be a retailer exclusive. And then later, she actually mentions that it's going to be a Target exclusive through the Legacy Collection. I went on to ask if it will be available internationally. I know a lot of you guys that collect this line don't live in the US. And this is her response here. And she says that they're working on it, trying to get other distributors around the world to pick it up and carry it in different parts of the world, but nothing is sealed quite yet. So the Mattel Jurassic World Brachiosaurus will be part of the Legacy Collection, and it will be available exclusively through Target in the US.
I felt a great disturbance in the force, as if millions of voices suddenly cried out in terror and were suddenly silenced.
So let's analyze this information and highlight a few thoughts and concerns that I have. Firstly, I completely expected this. When Mattel announced that the Brachiosaurus was going to be in scale with 3 3/4-inch action figures and dinosaurs from the Mattel Jurassic World line, we all realized that it's going to be huge. I mean, look at this photo of the silhouette compared to one of their action figures. In the modern day, stores are less likely to carry big toys. They take up a lot of shelf space, and the high price points deter many customers. And if they don't sell, the store ends up marking them down on clearance and taking a loss. So I think a toy this size would almost have to be a retailer exclusive. Secondly, let's consider that without this being an exclusive, it is entirely possible that this toy would not be made. That's just the way it works sometimes. Take, for example, the Mattel Batman v Superman playset from a few years back. It was a 4-foot-tall playset that retailed around $100, and the only major retailer that picked it up was Walmart. Many Walmart stores ended up marking them down for half off. You can also look to Hasbro's Star Wars The Black Series. Some of their larger figures, like the Gamorrean Guard and Moloch, were larger figures that retailed at the higher price point of $29.99 compared to the regular $19.99 price point. Those figures were Target exclusives. Retail doesn't like merchandise hanging around for very long. They'll give it some space on the shelf for a few months, and then when it's time to reset, they get rid of older toys and make room for newer ones.
Nature selected them for extinction.
The constant slate of films from Star Wars, Marvel, DC, and other franchises make it even more difficult for some toys to hang around for very long. Thirdly, here's a concern. We all know what happened with Spino-gate. Many of us in the US were crying, "Save the Spino," for months. It never hit stores, and you had to be online at the right time to get it. With some persistence, though, I think anyone who really wanted one was able to get one from Target.com during one of the restocks that were occurring regularly back in November. Meanwhile, the Spinosaurus was available at Smith's over in the UK, and as of recently, was still being restocked. It also made its way online in Germany at one point. The point of all this is that the situation with Target and the Spino left a really sour taste in people's mouths, and that's putting it mildly. Target really dropped the ball with how they handled the whole situation, and unfortunately, Mattel didn't really have anything to offer us beyond telling us to pester Target about it. So understandably, people are worried about the Brachiosaurus. Now, if we look at what Britt said in her comment, things have been smoothed out between Target and Mattel, and fans and collectors supposedly don't have to worry about a repeat of Spino-gate.
Things are a little bit different than you and I had feared.
While that's reassuring, we all know that things don't always work out the way they're supposed to. Finally, I have another concern, and that's international fans and collectors. Jurassic Park, dinosaurs, speak to everyone. They're universal, and the great work Mattel has done with the Jurassic World line has been recognized and supported by people all over the world. America, Canada, Mexico, New Zealand, Australia, Britain, Japan, etc., etc. Several exclusives have already been released that only American consumers have had access to, just as several were released outside the US that we didn't get here. I know many collectors all over the globe, and I've helped out several of them by shipping them toys that they were unable to get in their home countries. Now, I'm trying to imagine shipping a 4 or 5 foot box containing a giant Brachiosaurus to New Zealand and what that's going to cost. While I don't know what the price will be for the Brachiosaurus, I'm suspecting it'll be $55 or more. And I'm basing that on the size of the super colossal T-Rex. It's very possible it's going to cost more than that. In any case, I can see how a $55 plus toy could end up costing some collectors over $200 to add to their collections after shipping and import fees. Now, Britt did mention that they are working on getting this item to international markets that don't carry the legacy line. So while I can't blame Mattel for whether or not international retailer chains and distributors choose to carry a product, and neither should you, I do feel for the collectors who do not have access to them. We don't have all the details on whether or not the Brachiosaurus will be available outside the US just yet, but if it is, I anticipate it'll be available through Smith's in the UK, just like the Spinosaurus was, and maybe the odd retailer or two in Europe or Central or South America, but that's just a guess, and unfortunately, I think that's a best case scenario. Well guys, there you have it. I know we're all still reeling from Spino-gate, but I'm going to choose to be optimistic here. I know it's easy to get down and defeated about news like this, but at the very least, it sounds like the situation with Brachiosaurus will be better than it was with the Spinosaurus. How much better remains to be seen. But again, I'm going to keep my head up about this one until we have further details and until we see how things actually play out. I do hope the Brachiosaurus, which is perhaps the most anticipated Jurassic World toy along with the Indominus Rex, is more readily available to fans who do not have Target stores in their countries. I think that's going to be the most disappointing part of this news for many people, and I really do hope that those international markets step up and do choose to support the Brachiosaurus because I know a lot of you guys are excited about it. So sound off down below. What do you guys think of this news? If you live in the US, are you confident about how Target will handle the Brachiosaurus? If you live outside the US and can't get the Brachiosaurus in your country, will you consider importing it? Please keep all comments respectful and family friendly. Be sure to like the video and share it with your friends, and follow along on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for the latest news and updates about the Mattel Jurassic World toy line. Until next time, bye-bye.